Hello, everybody. How are you doing on this fine Sunday evening? What a ride. What a wild ride this League's Cup has been. It's been a lot of fun, and it gets to keep going. So we're going to talk about that tonight, and lots of stuff to talk about. We're going to have a fun guest as well. So a lot of fun tonight. But as always, I don't do this by myself. Say hello to everybody's favorite uncle, Uncle Ed. How you doing, Ed?
How's it going, boys and girls? Here we are, excited because our Inter Miami keeps winning. We expect another butt whooping this, what is it, Tuesday?
Tuesday, yeah. Yeah, and it was funny as I was just on the other day, I was on the Charlotte fan podcast that they've got over there. Good guys over there. And man, Lee over there on that show was very, very cocky and overconfident that they were going to beat us. And it's one thing to be confident, but he was on the cocky side of things. I even said that he was a little cocky on the show. And look what happens. They do have the worst defense in the league, which I didn't realize, but they mentioned that on the show.
Worse than our defense.
So, but yeah, lots of fun stuff to talk about. And in the second half of the show, we're going to talk to our friend from Philly, John Zapata from Duke by the River.
El Parcero Philly.
I was going to let you say that part. Good.
Parcero.
El Parcero Philly. What does that mean? Explain. What does that mean, Ed?
We'll let him explain because I don't, Parcero's from some part of Colombia, so.
Oh, okay.
They say that.
All right. So yeah, he'll join us in the second half of the show. We'll talk up the Philly game with him. So it should be a lot of fun. But before we get too far, let's go and say a big thank you to our sponsors. And let's start off with everybody's favorite store, and that is Caneswear. There it is. Caneswear is located in Davie, Florida, just south of 595 on University Drive. Go to their bigger, newer store. It's big. It's new. It's shiny. It looks great. So lots of good Messi merchandise. If you're in the shop, if you're looking for a GOAT shirt or anything like that, they've got you covered. Go support a local business, and if it's too far for you, go on their website, caneswear.com. All orders over $99 ship for free. So
that shirt on the bottom is pretty cool.
Which one?
The GOAT one's towards the bottom.
Oh, yeah, that's one of Messi's official shirts. So the 3 out of the 4 on the bottom are the Messi branded shirts. And then that one kind of pink goat one, more or less in the middle, the one I bought, is just one that, they ordered. But it's not a Messi branded shirt. But it's cool. I like the goat wearing the 10.
Yeah, you can pretty much tell which is which.
Yeah, exactly. All right, and then next up, buy a house.
Peter, we gotta say a shout out to Mia Rodrigues. She's the GOAT realtor, man. She's one of the La Familia members. She's with Southern Legion, but she supports everybody. So if you guys want to, buy or looking to sell your property, looking to invest in the United States, give her a call because she speaks 3 languages.
Nice.
So there's her number. You can even communicate with her through WhatsApp, guys. So check her out. Give her a call, and she will help you out. Get some properties in South Florida or even Georgia. I know she sells stuff in Georgia, too.
Nice. And so there's a little barcode there as well if you want to just scan that. So that's great stuff. All right, Ed. So 4-0 Leagues Cup. We travel. Charlotte travels down to here, and we were unfortunately not able to go. But tickets were crazy. They went fast, and neither of us were able to procure seats. Although I do, thanks to a few people that did reach out that were offering potential help us out a little bit. It just didn't work out. I've been under the weather for the last week, so it didn't make sense for me to go, and so that's part of the reason as well. But thanks to anybody that may have reached out to try to help us, because a few of you did, and we appreciate that. But it was definitely a fun match. I mean, one thing that came to my mind, Ed, when watching that game is, one, I think putting in um, oh gosh, what's his name? Benji in for Gomez. That made a lot of sense, and it seemed to work out well. And then in the second half, I really liked. Campana was definitely much more. He moved around a lot more and all that kind of stuff. So I would like to see in this next match, Campana starting. You wondered, is Tata getting the realization that look, I've tried with Joseph, but it's just not there, because Campana should have scored that own goal. I mean, that was going right to him, but it ended up being an own goal. So what were your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, Peter, I kind of agree with you. I'm glad. I'm glad that Kremaski came out as a starter. I think Tata kind of screwed up with Gomez in that first game. I don't think he was ready to play yet, and it showed, because Kremaski came out and he basically, played really well. The whole team played well. Charlotte just didn't have much when it came to offense. There was a little period of time where they were attacking a little bit more, but yeah, I think we did well. I think we could have probably scored a little more, but man, it was hot and humid. Yeah, I think we could have done more, but there was something, they kind of held back. Martinez also, man, he just, other than scoring penalties, he doesn't go back. We lose two players and going back and defending. If we have him, with Campana, we'll have that extra player that wants to go back and probably has the energy to go back. He was younger too.
Yeah.
And when he goes up, we've got, when we've got Campana there's more options to score, because he's tall, he's a good header, and you saw he passed that ball to Messi to score, which was really cool. Also, that I got to say, Charlotte's defense was terrible. They just basically. He was there with the ball, half the day basically. He sunbathed, he had a beer, he chilled there forever. So he had tons of time to do that pass. So how could you not? It would have been tough to miss that goal, I think, for Messi.
Hey, Ed, I forgot to do something. We forgot to say hello to everybody.
Oh man, Peter Brown, and we got tons of people. Let's see if you got the same guys that I do. Damian Guzman. He was the first one I saw. You don't see him. We had also Kevin Gonzalez. Carter was also there. Didn't see Carter.
Yeah, but they're just out of order because,
Yeah. Estevão Paiva. I don't know if you see him.
Yeah.
He sounds like he's from Brazil.
Sure does.
Estebandido. Gotta love Estebandido. Jose Velasquez is also with us. Good old Jet Pancake. Oh, Jose, man. There you go. Richard Greenberg from the Great White North. Eric Thomas.
Is it Ecuadorian Independence Day?
It was August 10th. Yeah. They didn't celebrate because some politician. Yeah. Everybody's biggest hater, Louis Rodrigues, but we love you, Louis. One world, one goal. She also reached out trying to help us get some tickets. Appreciate it. Chris Arjun.
Everybody's favorite photographer.
That's the dude. And did I mention Judge Dredd the Law yet?
No, I don't think so. It feels like Judge, it's been a while since we've seen him. I don't know.
Yeah.
Could be wrong.
And we got Marvin Mieles.
From Ecuador.
From Ecuador, yeah. We've got Osvaldo Jimenez. He's in Cape Coral, he said.
Oh, nice.
Mike V.
Feel like you skipped somebody here. Julio Enriquez.
Oh, Julio. What's up? Yeah, I didn't see him. Rafael Hernandez. We got Bhaskar Dam from India.
Nice.
Yeah. They're starting to get in here. All the people from nice and far. We appreciate you guys following us. And, we got to apologize. Last game, we weren't able to do the the vlog. That was our intention to go, but it's getting difficult to get the tickets, guys. It's expensive.
It is expensive. It is very expensive to get the tickets. And even if we were able to procure them easily enough, it's still it's starting to get expensive. I went to all the other Leagues Cup home games, and it starts to add up. It starts to get expensive. So them being on the road, it's a night in Philly or then in Dallas previously, it gives you a nice little break. But look, Chris Spiky Goldbach is in here as well. Remember him from the Striker days?
Yeah,
he used to write us some songs for the old Ultras Alive show.
Oh, we gotta resurface that song, dude. That was pretty cool.
You gotta find it.
Yeah, we had. Wasn't it like our background music for a little bit?
I don't know. We used it though. We definitely used it. I don't remember how we used it, but we used it.
Mm-hmm. We gotta look in the archives to see if we find that stuff. Good stuff.
It's good to see him. That's the benefit of putting this on multiple platforms. So it's out there for multiple platforms. But hey, Facebook. Why don't we? Because we were talking about procuring tickets, and you mentioned that One World, One Goal had made an attempt. Let's go to her voicemail.
It's time for your voicemail. Hello.
Hey, Peter and Uncle Ed and all the great fans, old and new. It's Italia, One World, One Goal. I'm catching the end of the Colombia-England game. And shout out to those Colombian women. They went very far, look very good. England looks amazing. They'll probably win the World Cup, so happy for them. And yeah, our USA gals, they got to completely regroup. Very similar to the men's team. So anywho, just wanted to mention back to our Inter Miami. I was pleased we had such a game. It was kind of a sleepy game in that sweltering, feels like 115 degree humidity soup that they had to play in, like your legs are in quicksand. But it was really a team effort. I was glad to see, Yedlin had that nice assist, Messi letting Martinez take the penalty, and then later Campapi, very unselfish, putting a beautiful ball to Messi, another own goal. We're averaging one own goal per game, which is crazy, but weird. But hey, we'll take it. So other thing I did not really enjoy, knowing that all the OGs, a little bit of housekeeping here. The OGs were not able to get tickets. I felt bad. I tried to intervene, but actually was really busy doing a product launch, so I didn't get to follow up, and apparently they were never contacted. And so why can't they sell all these tickets that, for whatever reason people didn't buy before, they were never available, they're new tournaments, whatever. Why don't they do season ticket holders on Wednesday and then whatever's left over on Thursday? Making sure people that fought for this team for 12 years, even 15 years, are able to get in. Now, you could pay the $50 now, crazy parking, and stand there outside the gate and hope at the last second you can get some ticket for $100 and some odd dollars. But, what if you paid the 50 parking and there weren't any tickets? I saw tons of empty seats, so obviously it's scalpers. So let's see what we can do to control it for the final. Fingers crossed we make it to the final and any other extra games that they sell. So, and then also the subtitles. These lovely people from India and the Arabic speaking world, they're all on the YouTube press conferences, and they're going crazy that there's no subtitles. And then people were translating, the Cristiano Ronaldo fans were translating really bad, saying that Tata is ragging on Messi, and I'm like, that is not the Spanish to English translation. It's kind of funny actually, but they're kind of obnoxious. So anything you can do to get subtitles, even on the replay. I don't know what it takes, if it's a YouTube thing, if it's an Apple thing, is it, we need to hire a guy, whatever. But it's nice to see Gabe Gabor back and Fernando Fiore back participating. And anywho, that's a little housekeeping, a little rant, little rave.
And cut her off.
Yep. All right. Well, she's got a time limit. So thank you there. One more, one goal for a couple things. Yeah, the tickets it is what it is. From what I understand, Leagues Cup are the ones that are setting the prices and putting these up for sale. It's not Inter Miami. That's what I understand. I don't know that for a fact, but that's what I understand. So yeah, it would be great if at the very least. So just so you know, there's a friendly coming between, I forgot which two South American teams, I think.
No, Honduras and somebody I forgot
Okay,
what other. I think American countries.
Central American. Okay, so I got an email from my ticket rep about that, and it said, as a season ticket holder, you would have 3-hour window before they open it up to everybody else. That makes sense,
Right?
and that is what should be done. And the fact that they did that leads me to believe that it would be the normal operating procedure for Inter Miami. But this is Leagues Cup doing it, and they've got things to learn. So there's some things, if we have time, other things about Leagues Cup or we could save it for another show, where the general manager for Monterrey complaining about all the travel and something's just not being fair. So there's things that they need to look into with the Leagues Cup.
Yeah, definitely. I know she reached out to I believe it was Chris Henderson. I really appreciate One World One Goal trying to help us out like that. Nobody came back to me. Probably wasn't much he could do because it's not really his department, and the guy that is in charge of that department doesn't really know us. so it's all.
I mean,
good.
they may, but they haven't ever reached out to us. Yeah. So I agree with that. What was her other point?
On the season tickets, well, that we should have the opportunity to season ticket holders to buy ahead of time. I agree on that. I don't know if 3 hours is enough because sometimes we don't get our codes.
It's better than nothing, though, right?
Well, that's true.
Right now, we're getting nothing. We're getting nothing.
Right? We're not getting nothing, and we missed a game, so that wasn't cool. And I know you guys missed that video because we always try to cover as much as we can. But we've got other videos. We have we did the Messi burger and Messi chicken sandwich. You guys can check out that one.
Yeah, and we have another. I don't know if we should say what it is yet, but we have another video coming out this Wednesday. You guys will be happy. So stay tuned for find out what that video is. It's something that I think you guys will like. Subtitles. Yeah, that was her other point. Thank you, Sid Day. So that was the other thing. Gabe Gabor, she mentioned. Gabe Gabor is an old friend of ours. He's a local MLS media guy. So he works for MLS corporate. He doesn't work for Inter Miami. He works for MLS, and they send him around to different games. And he worked for the Miami Fusion, so he's worked his way up into MLS. And I tweeted at him, and he knows who I am. So but I did tweet it at him in his professional type of area where I did ask about subtitles or translating. I don't even care about subtitles. Just have somebody there translating, because we know that there is somebody there that can do it, because they will translate one or two questions, right? So, and the guy seems good enough. And so they can do it. They just don't. But the response that I got back from Gabe was as corporate as you can get. And it was all the Zoom meetings are translated. And they have a function in there, it's probably built into Zoom, to where you can read the translations. So that was a response. But I am not an official media member. I am not included in their Zoom meeting. I mean, I could request it, but I'm not. I'm working. I'm doing things. I a lot of times like to go back later and watch it on YouTube, whether it be from Miami Total Football putting it up or whoever, or whether it's Inter Miami that puts it up. And yeah, nowadays, I don't even bother watching the coach interviews and I used to love watching the coach interviews with Phil Neville. I don't watch them anymore. And I don't even blame Tata for that. If they hired a guy that doesn't speak English, even though his wife is an English teacher, yeah, go figure. I don't blame him. I blame the team for not, being prepared, for not willing, I guess, to you still are in United States. I know that a lot of people's reaction is, Peter, learn Spanish. Well, that's just a stupid comment, right? Because it's not that easy. It's just not that easy.
Well, it goes both ways, Peter, because I'm sure, when there's questions in English being translated as well. That's that, and kind of going a little bit off of that, but they have the pregame shows in English only, on Apple TV. I want a Spanish show because there's tons of Argentinians. I don't know if you've noticed, at least our algorithms or whatever, or a lot of people from South America are watching us, and they want Spanish content. And unfortunately, we can do that, but Inter Miami is not catering to that, and I think it's important that they should. They got Fernando Fiore right there who could do that show easy.
Yeah. That's just again, probably not an MLS. I mean, it's probably not an Inter Miami thing. It's a MLS decision. But that's for sure. If you're going to broadcast the game in Spanish or in Canada in French, then you should do the full package. You should do the pregame show as well.
I just think there's a huge market out there. Maybe they didn't think about it this year. They'll do it next year. But like I said, they got Fernando Fiore. They could do it. They got tons of guys. Cordero is another guy that can do it. A lot of Spanish speakers that could do an incredible show, and I think they should jump on that so they can get more subscribers.
All right, I want to move on, but real quick, Mike V put up. I called the League's Cup administrator. I was so pissed not being able to get tickets that I totally Karened out and ripped everyone, and I got the full scoop. He then goes on to say, so League's Cup controls the prices, and they control the fluctuation of the pricing. However, I was told that Inter Miami could have negotiated and asked for preferential first right of a refusal for their season ticket holders and didn't. So they are partially to blame then if what Mike V is saying is accurate, and we have no reason not to believe him. So that's interesting. Well, anyways, Ed, I wanted to get into this before at 7:30. We're going to talk to John over in Philly, but before we do that, I thought I did name the show when you and I did not discuss this at all, but apparently we had parallel thinking because just so everybody knows, I wake up early in the morning on Sundays generally, and I think of a title and I think of an image and I just go with it. Once in a while, if I hit a wall and I can't think of anything, I reach out to Ed and I ask for help. But a lot of times I just whatever comes to my mind. And today I came up with something and Ed was like, I was thinking the same thing.
Exact same thing.
And that's not that these guys are now part of the team. But hey, by the way, Aviles and Farias are now part of the team. That's
Aviles looks like he's 12 years old.
Yeah, he looks super young, super young. But that was not the
what we were going for.
No,
going for
Messi's goal celebrations. I thought this would be a fun topic. Messi's goal celebrations have all been, not all, but because he's scored 8 goals and we only have seen 3 so far. But he has in several games had a Marvel-inspired celebration specifically to. Oh, now I'm getting corrected. All right, fine. My Spanish is bad, guys. Agiles. So that's why I put in the thumbnail, like what's his next, so far he's done Thor and, then we had Wakanda Forever, the Black Panther. And now we just had maybe the best one. Spider-Man. Come on.
Friendly neighborhood goat is what he is.
So what is, like Louis posing the question, what is Messi's next goal celebration?
Peter, I totally forgot to send you. There was a picture that Marco and I did in the Spanish show where you see the spider biting, Spider-Man, and you see the goat biting Messi. I just think it's hilarious. I totally
all right, yeah, sure.
That was great.
So I love that he is here and he is having fun. He is having fun, and he's celebrating with his kid because that's what this is all about. And so yeah, okay, so we're getting some people putting in some comments. Put your comments in the chat, and we'll talk about. But Ed, what is the first one you think of that should be potentially his next goal celebration? Now, I don't know if he'll do it in Philly because these have been targeted towards his kid, and I don't know if his family's traveling to Philly or not. But let's say he's going to score in Philly. We kind of know that, right? There's precedence here. He's scored everywhere.
Right. He's scoring all the time.
And so, what should be the next Marvel character he uses?
I think the Hulk. He could do a little, Hulk smash.
Would he do this, or would he?
Yeah,
smash.
There you go. Smash. He could do a smash. I'd go for something like that.
You could do
take
both.
His shirt off. Yeah, he could take his shirt off, and do the thing. I think that would be hilarious. And he could do it towards the camera if his kids aren't there. I don't think they'll be there, so I think that would be awesome.
Yeah.
What other guys? I mean, some of these guys are there. Look at that. Yeah. So there's already some people saying the Incredible Hulk, which should be next.
So I agree. My first thought that I had was in agreement with One World, One Goal. Oh, was she saying not Captain America? I was thinking it should be Captain America. But what is Captain America really? What is he going to just kind of do this, like throwing the shield? Because
that's his thing.
I mean, he throws a shield, but I don't know. He doesn't really have a signature move. I mean, I guess throwing his shield. But she says not Captain America. That was my first thoughts, Captain America. Oh, I like Mike V. Wolverine. He could just sit there and go. But that one is, I don't know, do you do this or do you go like this? I mean.
Yeah, probably just this.
Yeah. But you got to have the sound effect. And if
And what other? Doctor Strange, somebody saying? Opening a portal? Oh, yeah, where he does the, that circular motion.
Was there a Doctor Strange one in there?
Yeah.
That's funny. And then our guest has just called in, so we'll get to him in just a minute because I thought he might enjoy this conversation as well. So let him listen in for just a minute. So then also the goal celebration that Messi's going to do in Philadelphia. Richard Greenberg, this is not Marvel, but he's still getting nerdy. He should screw everyone up and do Spock's, thing.
Prosper.
Live long and prosper. Kata saying school started. In other words, kid won't be there. Look, when you're Messi, you can let your kid skip school and go to Philly.
They could be, homeschooled.
No, I think they are going to a public school. I saw something. It's not a public school, but, a school. You're not sending them to public school.
Portal. Look at that. See? They could totally do that. The portal thing.
Yeah. It's like this, and you kind of go like that in the portal,
like circular thing, and it opens up.
Because they got that little ring thing. And they just kind of.
Yeah.
And then step through, and then do a step.
Yeah, that's right.
He does this right, and then let Busquets walk through.
There you go.
he could plan it out with somebody.
I like that.
That'd be awesome. Well, anyways, I think we should continue this. And what should Messi's goal celebration be in the next game? Whether he does one of these in Philly, because we all know he's going to score in Philly, and our next guest knows that as well.
Our friend Parcero Philly's probably not going to want him to score. So
well, of course he doesn't want him to. Antor Sarkar is saying that Messi's learning English watching Marvel. Maybe. One World, One Goal saying Peter's really into this Marvel stuff. Yep. Professor X, Mike V says. I don't know what Professor X does. Oh, would he do some sort of like...
Oh, no, he doesn't do that. That's Mickey Mouse, Peter. I'll probably do one of these, where he's thinking, when he does a little...
All right, well, let's not mess around anymore.
All right,
because our guest is in the chat. He looks like he's in the car and he's smiling. So let's not wait any longer. Let's talk to our friend over there in Philadelphia, driving around Philly, John Zapata, El Parcero, Philly. How are you doing?
What's going on, guys? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Perfect. Awesome. I'm doing great, man. I appreciate you guys having me on. Things are different now because obviously there's an important player called Messi involved between the Union and Inter Miami. But I'm excited about this one. Everyone's excited here in Philly. I'm getting texts from people who aren't typically soccer fans. They're trying to get into the game. So there's a new buzz of soccer here in Philadelphia, thanks to you guys.
Yeah, it's definitely that's the first thing I thought of when I thought of Philly is I'm a big fan of Jim Curtin, so I do kind of watch, and I think I've talked to you about him before on your show,
Right.
which is Dupes by the River. So if you guys are interested
Sure.
in anything Philly related or anything, or if you just want to catch their perspective on this upcoming game, I'm sure they'll do something about that soon. Or after the fact, after they've lost and all that, and they just want to cry a little bit. Now I'm going to start sounding like the guys from Charlotte, which I got to be careful. I talked to the guys from Charlotte, and they were overconfident, cocky. I can't go there because look what happened to them. But Jim Curtin, pleading to the fans of Philly, do not sell your tickets, no matter how much people offer. Please do not sell your tickets. Basically saying, we don't want this to be an Inter Miami home game in Philadelphia.
Right.
What do you think about all that?
No, I mean, I 100% agree with that. Listen, I understand we're all excited about Messi, and I understand the magnitude that is Lionel Messi. That hasn't hindered on me. But at the end of the day, like for myself and many Union fans, especially the Union fans who've been here since 2010, even before that, 2008, dude, we've been sticking through with this team. It doesn't matter who's on this team. So for us, it's about winning this tournament here. So that hasn't dawned on us. So a couple years ago, 2 years ago in CCL, we lost the semifinals against Club America. Guys, that was literally at Azteca, but here in the United States, man. That place was completely yellow. And so it lost a little bit of our edge. You guys know very well the past couple years, we're unbeatable at the Sud. So we don't have Messi's, right? We have Gazdags, we have Ures, we have Carranzas. They're all good players, but they're not at that level. For us to be successful, we need to play as a team, but also that home field advantage has always been important for us as well. So that's kind of where Jim is coming from. We know that people are going to be arriving there for Messi. We're not dumb, but we want to make sure that we have as many blue and gold fans in there as possible.
Yeah, and real quick, let me just pull this up here, and that's oops, wrong screen.
Yeah, dude. That's not normal at all. We're not used
ticket
to that.
prices right now on Ticketmaster. If I wanted to fly there, the cheapest seat I could get for 2 tickets in general admission, $379. You can even go and spend as much as a little over $1,400 if you so choose. Looks like a good chunk of them are somewhere in the $400 and $500 range. I'm sure these tickets were previously about 30, 40, maybe $50.
The shocker is like section 133 to 140. That's the supporter section. And historically, those tickets, you can never find a ticket more than $40 in those sections. And like, look at those prices, guys. Like, that's crazy.
They're insane. So that's already showing you that nobody's listening to Jim Curtin. They're putting their tickets up for sale just like they did down here. It was hard for me and Ed to get tickets to this last game, so we didn't make it. I've been to 3 out of the 4 Messi home games, but I was not able to procure the last one because the craziness of the prices and how fast they went. And speaking of how fast, they sold out in 8 minutes in Philadelphia.
Yeah. Yep.
People want to see Messi, and you're going to see probably an inordinate amount of pink shirts there.
Yeah. I'm expecting it in totality. It's Messi. This is the biggest player this country's seen. Obviously, Beckham was big, but I mean, Beckham was not near the magnitude as Messi. I mean, I'd probably have to go back to Pelé, but obviously it's a different society we lived in. But no, this is probably all anticipated. And I guess I have to ask you guys, like, how do you feel about it? I mean, you guys literally have been with this team since before 2020. So how does it feel for you guys?
In 2006, man, that's when we started this whole thing. When we started the Southern Legion back then, and man,
you guys are Fusion guys, right?
Yeah, we're Fusion guys.
Yeah.
That's we can prove it. We got the Grays going. but John, dude, tell me the truth, man. Are you gonna buy one of them pink Messi jerseys or what? One of those fake ones at least.
Parce, Yo, even in Colombia, you see the Messi pink shirts everywhere. the,
10
the
bucks or
Colombians
something.
are excited about this too.
Oh,
Yeah,
which
it's
which
It's
which reminds me, Peter was asking, what does el parcero mean? So a lot of people out there want to know what parcero means.
Yeah, so parcero is just a common term used in Colombia for homie, your friend, your buddy. That's my parcero. We're hanging out with the parceros. We're grabbing some beers. We're watching Messi lose to the Union, right? So that's that's how we use parcero. It's just another term for homie.
so one of our chatters is asking if you're going to the game.
We're still working on it. We're still working on it. So,
Mm,
for those who aren't familiar with media, right now because we are in Leagues Cup, the organization itself
yes.
handles the press passes. So I'm going through that process instead of going through the union. So it's still wait and see. If not, we'll find a way to hang out. People might do. We've been doing live streams for some of these League Cup games. It's been a success. So we'll everyone keep it. If you are interested, keep an eye out. But if not, we'll have some content on that day for sure. But everyone and their mom's trying to get a ticket to this game. A couple of my co-hosts are going. Two of our co-hosts on Duke by the River have season tickets in the supporter section. Dude, the tickets were 212 a piece.
Wow.
212 a piece in supporter section. So we're all trying to get there, man, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, when on the first Messi game, me and Ed both ended up in the supporters
Uh huh.
section, and it was what 225, I think. What
Yeah.
we ended
Yeah,
up
that's
spending. That's
crazy.
before the Ticketmaster fees and all that nonsense. So yeah, so
It's just wild.
it's crazy. The Messi effect is crazy. But at the end of the day, it's good for the league. Every team
Yeah.
is going to make money. It brings attention. All eyes are on all players. So anybody that wants to show off a little bit to maybe get noticed overseas or anything like that, every game that we play now, all eyes are on not only Inter Miami, but whoever we're playing against. So if Julian Carranza wants to have a game of his life, and I'm curious, he got hurt in the last game. How is our boy Julian doing?
So we're still waiting for injury because obviously Gazag as well picked up an injury.
Yeah.
So it could be interesting to see what does happen here. But no, for Julian Carranza in general, I mean, we're still having issues with finishing. He's had obviously a really good season, but it just seems like when Gazag's not feeding him the ball, or if one of the wingbacks aren't feeding him the ball as consistently as he usually does, he's not able to finish his own shot. So we'll see. But that definitely is going to be an interesting factor too, seeing Carranza show up in this one because he has shown up big against Miami. Obviously, he probably still feels a certain way towards it, but I think in general for the Union, you can't look at the magnitude of the situation, right? Messi's coming to town. Everyone's focusing on Messi. We got to go out there and play our game because we are still a really good team. Messi obviously is a different type of player, but we can't get overhyped with the situation and what everyone's there for. We are there to win a game, and that's how they have to play. And for Carranza, man, if that ball's in your feet, let's put those balls in the net, man.
Yeah, and,
Yeah.
and Jim Curtin was saying that if you play like the way you played in this last game against the Mexican team, you won't win. So he's
Yeah,
expecting more from Philly.
yeah, and you know what, guys? Like throughout these knockouts games, like DC, the Red Bull, and Guitarro here hasn't been the best performances, but they've been resilient and found ways to get the job done. And you're gonna have to be a little more. You have to be spot on in this one. Those little mistakes that you've had, not taking advantage of the opportunities that you've had as well. You gotta take advantage of it because Miami's gonna find a way. It's not. It's gonna be hard to contain Messi. And the thing is that Messi always can find a way to score a goal, right? But he's so good at just creating opportunities for others.
That's
And
it.
look at Robert Taylor. Everyone's talking about Robert Taylor
He's a
now.
new
Like it's
player.
crazy. Yeah, man, it's crazy. So yeah,
Yeah.
we got to be on our game, man. It's got to be spot on in this time around.
Yeah, this is going to be real exciting. I can't wait, man, and I know you can't wait. What
Yeah.
is what's the word out there? I mean, how does it feel? I mean, you're driving somewhere. Where are you going to, man?
So we're coming back. So it was the family reunion for my fiance's family. So we're coming driving back from the Jersey Shore as we all do around the Philadelphia. We go either the Jersey Shores or the Delaware beaches as well. So I'm just driving back home right now. So
Okay.
we're almost home.
Speaking of
Yes.
off soccer topics, One World One Goal in our chat asks, which Philly cheesesteak is better? Where do you get the best? She likes Geno's.
Okay. Honest to God, when people ask me this question, I give them this answer, and they're typically shocked. Listen, in all honesty, if you really just want a good cheesesteak around here, pizza shops throughout this area, whether it be Philadelphia, South New Jersey, they're really good cheesesteaks. But I don't really recommend Geno's unless it's like 2 o'clock in the morning and you had a couple drinks and you're looking for that munchy food. That's when I say that's fine. Go to Geno's because they're like open like 24/7. But good ones in general, Dallas Andrews and Roxborough, which is a portion of Philadelphia. That one's really good. I really like Phillips Steaks as well. Sonny's in Old City off on Market Street is probably my favorite. I recently just found that one. But honestly, like everyone overcomplicates it, but dude, just go into a pizza shop. They'll have a cheesesteak, and typically it's really good. So don't complicate it. But definitely Geno's and Pat's. There's a specific time when you can go get those.
Eric Thomas says De Alessandro's.
D'Alessandro's, that's right. D'Alessandro's,
Yeah.
that's a good one. That's the one in Roxborough. That's a good one. It's really old school. You can't even call it in. You can't place online orders. You go in, you wait for your turn to order, and that's how it rolls there. But it's always worth it. It's always worth it.
I'm sure it's better than what I've eaten down here, and that's Miami Subs. I'm sure it's much better than Miami Subs. But it's what we got, right? So
hey, sandwich Cubano. We don't got sandwich Cubanos up here. So when I go to Miami, that's what I get down there.
That's when you do it.
Yes, sir.
Nice. Peter Brown, what do you think? All right. I think right now we need to do some predictions.
All right.
And I think Marcelo's going to, he's going to give a biased, score. What do you say? What do you say?
I mean, it wouldn't be a Leagues Cup knockout round match for the Union if it didn't go into extras or some type of way. But I do think that it'll go to extras this time around. Whether they go to shootout, I'll say this: I don't think you guys wanted to go to shootout. We get some luck in here, and obviously Andre's one of the best in this league in the shootout round. So I'm gonna have to go with the Union. I'm gonna go with the Union with the win here. I'm gonna go with the Union with the upset win here. It's going to be a 2-1 win. Somehow, somewhere they'll find some type of hero again. We had Chris Donovan against Guitarro. It was a phenomenal moment there for him. But I think it's going to come down to the wire. I got a 2-1 win here.
In Toronto, Richard Greenberg is agreeing with you to some extent. 3-2 Philly, he thinks.
Okay.
But then some other people here are saying Kata saying 4-3 Miami. Says 1-4, which means we're the 4. You're the 1, since we're the visiting team. We were corrected last week. Last week we were going, well, we're going to win 3-1, 4-1, and people in the chat are like, well, guys, you're visiting. It'd be 1-4. I'm like, oh, come on, you get the point. I mean, we're a homer show, right? We got blinders on, so let's be real. But what do you think so far of this Leagues Cup? There's been, I think it's been mixed. See a lot of empty stadiums. Obviously, we're seeing it from a very hyped level down here.
Yeah.
Some of the Mexican teams not happy with all the travel and the dates moving and things like that. But what are your thoughts on the Leagues Cup? I think it's been fun so far.
No, for sure. Like the product's been good, right? Like you had entertaining soccer. Obviously, anytime it's U.S. versus a Mexican soccer team, there's always going to be some type of bad blood. So that's always the entertaining part about it. I mean, selfishly, like I would love to be playing MLS play. I would love to be trying to climb the table right now and gain some points. But no, this has been fun. Like we've had some good soccer. You can never complain about that. I think in general, though, what I've said is that it'd be nice to find a way to bring some type of Europa League, Copa Sudamericana here to CONCACAF, another option for a tournament. Because I do love having, the Central American teams involved, the Caribbean teams involved as well. But it's just definitely has been some good soccer we've been watching for sure, guys.
Yeah, and Garber said he's open to growing it a little bit and inviting some new clubs from around the globe. So it definitely could expand. And I find it interesting that there's always this battle with Mexican teams versus American teams. Right. And look, there's only one Mexican team left now. They're not used to all the travel, I'm sure, and they're not home, so it might be a very different story if this was played in Mexican soil.
Are better too, man.
But I find it really interesting that only one Mexican team is left.
Yeah.
Karma is a B word, guys. Karma is a B word.
I think. Well, I don't know. I don't know. It's good. This is going to definitely be the toughest game for Inter Miami. I mean, Philly's pretty good.
Pretty
Uh,
good. I think
they,
somebody had wrote in there, you haven't lost a home game in how many? 28?
yeah. So it's going to be
Yeah,
tough. Hopefully, we can
it's
take
so
away.
tough.
We got to take away that home advantage. So hopefully, a
That's
lot of
it.
these people, you know, support Messi. But we got the best player in the world, man. We've got some other quality
It's a good lineup.
players. So I think my prognostication is 3-2. Peter Brown, Inter Miami, or should I
Well, that's
say?
what I've been saying this whole time, but then they keep scoring 4 goals. So, I don't know, 3-1 maybe,
But this
2-1, I
defense
don't
is
know.
legit, guys. You guys haven't really faced too many good defenses. This
That is
defense is
true. That
legit.
is true. But you
They
guys
are prone
also
to mistakes
didn't.
too.
You guys also struggled a little bit against and I can't say that team's name for the life of me. The team you played,
Kitaro.
yeah,
Kiritaro.
I can't
Kiritaro.
say
Yeah.
it, but it took the 100th minute for you guys to win that game. So
Yeah. No, you're right.
you're not exactly in that game at least weren't really lighting it up. So if we could play that team, and let's hope for our sake, Gazag is out because I agree he's a really good player. And so that'll be interesting. But let's finish on this because it looks like you are where you're trying to get to. We'll let you go.
Oh, no worries. We got time, guys. No worries.
The important question for tonight is when Messi scores in Philadelphia, what Marvel goal celebration should he bring out? What do you want to see? Come on.
It'd be interesting. I want him to see remember the World Cup press conference? And he was like pissed off and he was like at that report, "Give me this ball." I want to see him do that. Like, give me this
The
ball.
bubble. Yeah, he might do that. He might do that against one of the Philly players. But no, but but what would you think would be the next Marvel character, goal celebration that
Okay.
he would do with his kids?
Okay. So he's done what? So remind me what's the ones he's done already.
So he's
'Cause
done
I saw.
Wakanda Forever, Black Panther, Thor,
Okay.
Calling the Hammer, or
Okay.
it could be a death choke from Vader, but it was Thor.
That's what it looked like.
Yeah, it looked
Yeah.
like I mean, that's what we used it as a thumbnail. And then he just recently did the
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Okay. So then that would mean. So I guess Captain America getting the shield, like like catching the shield,
Yeah, that's what this guy from.
the birthplace of America. Right? How about that?
Captain America.
All right. So and here Zayat Khalaf is saying Doctor Strange for the semifinal and
There you go.
Thanos snap for the final.
There you
Thanos
go.
If
snap.
you guys win this, listen. If you guys win this tournament, that would be really huge for you guys.
It would be.
I don't know what's going to happen come regular season time. You guys have a little bit to climb, but if you guys win Leagues Cup, then it's huge.
Well, yeah. So right now we're riding a high, obviously, that
Right.
unbeaten, but we all know that can't last forever. It's impossible for that to last forever. And so at some point, and in order to make the playoffs, I think we have to win like 8 out of 9 games. We have to pretty much be damn near unbeaten there as well. So,
Tough.
at this point, I will just be happy if they can win the trophy here because it's attainable. You're
Right.
getting there. You're a lot closer to this trophy than you are to the MLS Cup. There's a hole to dig out in the MLS.
Yeah.
And we also have another trophy within reach, and that's the U.S. Open Cup. We got a game against Cincinnati coming up. So
It's so crazy. You guys win 2 trophies and miss the playoffs.
that would be
it's so
hilarious.
funny.
Wouldn't it?
That would be something.
And it's funny is every pundit, and I keep hearing, they love to throw that in. Like, we're doing so great. Keep in mind, they're in last place in MLS. They love to throw that. They're doing great, but they're last place in MLS. So,
One thing I forgot to tell you guys. So one thing a lot that I've been hearing here in Philly, especially from the bigger media outlets here in Philadelphia, one thing that they've been throwing out there because of Messi has been moving the game to Lincoln Financial Field where the Philadelphia Eagles play because it is a bigger stadium.
that's
You
you got to turn that
I don't
around
want to
quick.
do that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. Well, the good thing is that the Eagles, they just started preseason. They do have a game on Thursday, I believe, so they would have to turn that field around quick. But at the end of the day, man, like I said, we're trying to win a game, right? So I want to keep our home field advantage. You move to the link, you're catering to you guys, you're catering to the Messi fans.
I
And
mean,
I'm trying to win a
they're
game.
probably catering to us at your stadium too. Let's be honest.
So I mean, listen,
It's
there's gonna be a lot of pink shirts. I already know that.
It's hard to say no if your ticket that you got, and I don't know what was the cheapest ticket that somebody could have bought this Leagues Cup, because was this rolled into a season ticket membership, or was there a season ticket benefit? I mean, so what was the cheapest you could get?
So I mean, I think before this, like they were like $30-$40,
but I mean for this game.
For this game, the cheapest I think I saw was 155, something. So that's out of the norm for MLS in general.
If I bought my ticket for 155 from the team, well, I'm not talking about the resale market, but when you bought it from the team, the cheapest ticket you bought from the team, if you were able to get it within those 8 minutes, it had to have been less than 150, maybe 120 or something.
So that I'm not 100% sure. So like I mentioned, so one of our co-hosts is a season ticket holder. He has seats in the Rivers End, in the supporter section. Yeah. So when he bought his seats from the team for this match, they were $212 in the supporter section each. That's 4 seats. So the Union definitely priced these tickets for what this game was going to be.
Yeah.
Even for the supporters in the supporter section, that's pretty steep, man.
Yeah, and if I spent that, I mean, I could turn it around and get 3 times that. It's hard to say no to that. You got to be a diehard like we are. Like I don't think any of us would sell our tickets, but you definitely your average person is already up there selling them like crazy, and so they're gonna go. And how many of your fans that are Philadelphia fans, but they're Argentinians, and so they may not wear the pink shirt, but they're going to wear that blue and white striped Argentinian shirt, and they're going to be cheering for Messi.
Yeah, you're going to get a lot of those soccer fans who may not be MLS people.
Right.
But, yeah, Messi, yeah, for sure. Yeah, they're going to have – you may see some Barcelona shirts in there, too.
Yeah, of course.
You'll see it all. You'll see it all, man.
All right, John. Well, this has been fun. Thanks so much for playing around with us. Tell everybody how they can follow you and everything that you're doing on Duke by the River.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so first off, thank you so much. It's always an honor to be on Miami Fan Football TV. But as always, guys, you guys can find me at El Parcero Philly. Tomorrow we actually start a brand new afternoon show, Monday through Friday, 3:30 to 4:30. Citywide special. Grab your shot, grab your beer. We're talking Philly sports, as well as the Union as well. But Duke by the River, you can find us on Twitter at Duke by the River Podcast, and you can subscribe to that. That is the Philly Sports Network podcast for all things Union. Us and a bunch of experts at duping, as we say. We talk the Union. We'll be talking about this match throughout the week as well. But make sure you follow on Twitter, because we'll have great game day coverage. Our guy, Tim Lovinguth, one of our co-hosts, does a phenomenal job. If you're not at the stadium, you can see what's going on from his view. So it's definitely worth it. Definitely check that out.
All right. Thanks so much for joining us. It was a lot of fun.
Thank
you. We look forward to talking to you again. Good luck.
Sounds good. See you guys.
Dude. All right. See ya.
Wow.
All right.
So yeah, he's pretty positive. I mean, that Philly team's pretty good, man. So this is going to be like our hardest test. You thought Dallas was tough.
Sure.
This one's gonna be, hopefully they'll play like you said the last game against Querétaro. Hopefully we can.
They play that way.
Take advantage of them if they play that way. But I don't know, man. It's the stage is there for them to show off and try to make us look bad for the first game. So for the first game, everybody wants to be the first team to beat Messi's team. So I'm sure they definitely want to be part of that. We do have a chance, Peter, of having the final over here.
Yeah.
If the Rey beats Nashville in Nashville, which is going to be a game anyway.
And they should. I think Monterey should be Monterey's the favorite. So I would expect them to win. And look, that Nashville game was interesting because that game was over, right? It was the Club America game, right? I think that if I remember correctly, it was a Nashville Club America game that was basically over. Club America thought they won on the PKs, and then they took forever to review the play, and then they said that the goalkeeper had jumped, and but he had jumped even the next one too. He even had he missed, he didn't save it, but had he saved that one, they would have had to have called that back too, because he was jumping off his line continually. So that was interesting. Right. So they barely won that game, Nashville.
Yeah, they just beat Minnesota, I think, the last game.
Oh, is that the game? Am I mixing up teams? Well,
yeah,
anyways.
yeah.
There's so many damn games. So many games.
Yeah, there are. There's tons of them. Hard to keep track of all of them. But yeah, Nashville, Monterrey. I think I'm hoping Monterrey wins, even though in a way I don't, because I think Monterrey is the better team. And we've got a chance of losing against them. But if Monterrey wins, they come here to South Florida, and I want to see that game. And I think who knows? Maybe they'll play in a bigger stadium. I have no idea. Even if they play at Dry Pink Stadium, that's going to be huge. I would want them to have the final here in South Florida. Definitely going to try to get those tickets because we need to be there, Peter Brown, for a final. But that's our only hope. Monterrey.
So I was right. It was Club America versus Nashville, but it was a different round. That was the round of 16, which was literally a couple days before. They're only getting a few days off, and then it was Nashville versus Minnesota, like you said. I saw this chat and I wanted to make a comment. Clara Carp says, Marvel celebrations only at home for his kids, guys. This conversation has no point. Don't try to ruin our fun. It was a silly conversation to have fun. Don't ruin our fun. This channel, we like to have a little fun. It's not all X's and O's here.
He might do it, give him a long distance, Marvel thing, so
there you go. Feel like his kid might travel.
Dad loves me, he's doing his Marvel for me. Somebody had said earlier that apparently he did do the Thanos snap.
Really?
Yeah, apparently he did it. This probably wasn't the first time that he's done these Marvel things. It's probably a thing between him and his kids.
Christopher Harris from World Soccer Talk is asking, what are your thoughts about playing the two finals at Hard Rock Stadium if we face Monterrey in the final, as well as hosting the U.S. Open Cup? I think it'd be great, but I just always wonder, that will it happen? I mean, NFL season's starting, so they just had a preseason game there on Friday. I don't know when their next preseason game is, and then there's that whole issue where the owner of the Dolphins also owns a soccer promotion company that conflicts with some Soccer United marketing. So I don't know. I've always heard that there's a tense relationship there. So I don't know. It'll be interesting but it would make sense financially. It would make sense. They sell a whole lot more tickets, fill that stadium. I mean that make up for a lot of losses that they've had.
Well, if they want to make money, they'll do it. I mean, and if there's a space in the calendar, I think they might overlook that and say like, hey, whatever, we want Messi here so we can make some extra money, and they'll probably make it. And Inter Miami definitely want to get more butts in those seats. Get more people to spend money on Messi gear. So that might be an option, Peter. Kind of saying also they play at FAU. It's a little bit bigger, isn't it? FAU?
Yeah. I've been to FAU to see a church service. I don't know. I think it might hold 30, 35. I don't know exactly. It is bigger. Kata is saying FAU there. One World, One Goal says Ross will take the money, though, Peter. He had pics with Beckham at Carbone's on the beach with LeBron. Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. Or does Inter Miami want to have all the hype and have all the excitement, at their stadium and all the lights and everything at their stadium? I don't know. Is it if it's a money grab, they're going up for Hard Rock for sure.
Yeah, I think they'll definitely do that. I wouldn't mind. I think they could fill up that stadium for both games. For the Open Cup if we get to the Open Cup final, and if we get to the to this tournament's final. So I'm for it. The more people, the better.
Yeah, and just think about this. Inter Miami's 2 wins away from getting to the Champions Cup or Champions League, whatever they're calling it now. Because the top 3 teams in League's Cup make it. So they win this game and they're in the finals, right? And so then they 2 wins. Wait, I'm trying to think of the math. Two wins. I guess they would have to only win 1 game, right, to get in, because you go, if you make it to the final, you're guaranteed a spot because the top 2 teams, and then the third place team. So if they lost this game but then won there's apparently a third place game, and so if they win the third place game, then they make it there. CONCACAF Champions League. That's what Louis is saying, CONCACAF Champions League. But I thought I read somewhere that they had rebranded it Champions Cup. So I don't know. But I've always called it the Champions League as well, Louis.
Yeah, well, we've got a chance of playing at home, the third place win as well, because if Monterrey loses against Nashville and we lose, the next game will be in South Florida anyway. And so we need to win that one so we can get into CONCACAF Champs.
Yeah.
Or whatever it's called. One thing I forgot to mention, Peter, is that apparently next year we're going to play Copa Libertadores. Well, I'm not sure if Inter Miami will, but that's a huge thing. What's it called? The South American Federation has invited Mexican and American teams to play the Copa Libertadores, which is huge. Travel will be crazy, though. The schedule is going to be crazy, but they want to also benefit on Messi, and I would imagine Inter Miami would probably be one of those teams that's going to be invited.
Kevin Gonzalez clearing things up a little. Peter, if Inter Miami wins the League's Cup, they make the second round of the Champions Cup. And second or third place, they make the first round. So, but either way, top 3 make it. And that was Kata saying fake news, Ed. Fake news.
No.
Doesn't agree with you.
From South America. I saw it. It's probably going to happen.
All right.
Wait.
Ed, what are we doing tomorrow?
Peter Brown, we're going to be doing the Spanish show in Español, en tu idioma, FMTV en tu idioma. We're going to be speaking in Spanish at 9 p.m.-ish with El Oso Donoso. We're going to definitely be talking about everything we talked about right now. We're going to do like a preview for the game because the game is on Tuesday. So let's hope that we get to beat this Union side from Philadelphia.
All right. So, and remember, everybody, we're going to have a video up. We'll probably put it up on Wednesday. I think you guys will enjoy it. So be on the lookout for a new video from us on Wednesday. And that should be a lot of fun. Thanks, everybody, for the chat. Has been great tonight. Thanks so much for John over at Dupe by the River. So go check out them, Dupe by the River. They're always a lot of fun. I've been on their show a few times. So great to have John over on ours for a change. So thanks to him. Thanks to our 2 sponsors. You want to buy a house, contact Mia. Mm-hmm. And if you want to buy a jersey, go to Caneswear. So, and thanks everybody. Like I said in the chat, you guys make this fun. Let's do this again next week. And hopefully we're celebrating another win. Thanks everybody for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you next week. See you, everybody.